in the monstrance, in the literal wafer God, is how we refer to it as. It goes on to say, pastors, priests should exhort them to this and set them a good example. So they're going to set us a good example by commanding us to worship Christ in this wafer God. The place in a church or an oratory where the Blessed Sacrament is reserved in the tabernacle, which would be the monstrance, the place where the consecrated wafer is kept and worshipped between masses. Yeah, you could go there and worship it between masses too. The unleavened bread, just worship it between masses. This should truly be prominent. We want to have the monstrance prominent. It ought to be suitable for private prayer, so that the faithful may easily and faithfully, by private devotion also, continue to honor our Lord in this sacrament. I mean, this is insanity. Talk about, setting up no graven image. Here, Acts 17:29. For as much then as we are the offspring of God, this is saved people, for as much then as we are the offspring of God, we ought not to think that the Godhead is like unto gold or silver or stone, graven by art in man's device. We're not supposed to be bowing down and worshiping stuff. We're not. The Godhead is not like that. So these people in the Catholic religion, let's take for example, they've got this big statue racket that they got. You know that they took that commandment out of the Catholic Ten Commandments? They took the commandment about bowing down to graven to idols and that. It's gone from their Ten Commandments. I think they split like the 9th commandment into 2. I've got the whole thing in saved. That's how they get around it. So then they can make millions and millions and millions every year selling all their cursed statues to everybody. And let me tell you something. You got any of these statues around or in your house where you better destroy them. Because they're cursed. They got big fat demons that came with it. You paid for not only the statue, but the demon that came with it. And if you give that thing place in your house, it's no wonder you've got all kind of problems going on, because it's not going to help things, that's for sure. We ought not to think that the Godhead is like unto gold or silver or stone, graven by art and man's device. That's not what the Catholic Church teaches you. Let me read you another quote from them. This is from the Vatican II, the Constitution on the Sacred Liturgy, Instruction, the Worship of the Eucharistic Mystery, C6, page 109 and 110. It says, all the faithful ought to show to this most holy sacrament the worship which is due to the true God. As always, and has always been the custom of the Catholic Church. For even in the reserved sacrament, he is to be adored because he is substantially present there. Through the conversion of bread and wine, as the Council of Trent tells us, is most aptly named transubstantiation. End of quote. So remember what I said to you about the whole doctrine of transubstantiation? They were taught through the Council of Trent, way long back, that the priest has the power to take Jesus Christ out of heaven and convert him literally into the Catholic communion host and the wine through the process of transubstantiation. That is sickening.